This is the training session for the document submissions and records management tool that has been developed by the VDOT eConstruction team. The first place to start is the eConstruction portal, which is located at the highlighted link. It can be searched for through the VDOT.e site by searching econ portal, and it should be the first result that pops up. So from the eConstruction portal page, the first thing to do for any new project is to request a new project. This can be done using the Submit a Help Request or Project Site Request button on the Econ portal page. Pressing that button will take you to the Econ Help Desk Center, and from there, you will use this drop-down menu and choose DSRM for Document Submission and Records Management. That will open up a new menu showing all of your options that you must fill out in order to request a new SharePoint site for a project. Once you've completed all those fields, you hit submit, and the eConstruction team will get the request to create a new site. To add new users to the VDOT SharePoint system, users can scroll to the bottom of the eConstruction portal page and click on Request External User Access. This will take the user to the page to create DocuSign forms to add external users to the SharePoint system. There's a job aid on this page that outlines how to perform this task. But a quick walkthrough, I will perform a quick walkthrough at this point. So from this window, the user will type in their name and their VDOT email address. They will also type in the name of the prospective external user and their email address. I'm going to delete this information as this is not a real user and I do not want to start that process for that email address. And I will continue on using only my information, but for an actual user, please leave those fields filled out. Once you have filled out all those fields, hit begin signing, and DocuSign will open up the window to fill out the required forms to add an external user. The VDOT user must fill out the fields that are highlighted in red. The top box will be filled out by the external user once the VDOT user has finished filling out all fields on this page and signing where appropriate. Once completed, the VDOT user will click Finish, and the forms will then be sent to the external user to fill out and complete. Once they have done so, their application will be sent to the VDOT SharePoint team for acceptance. Once they have received their email saying that they have been added to the system, the external user must click on the link in that invite email within 24 hours to have their account activated. If they do not do it within the required time frame, that link will expire and a VDOT user must send the external user a link to the external support site, at which point the external user can click that link and have their account activated. Once all users have been added to the system, the VDOT users and external users will go to the Econ portal to access the Submissions app. To access the Submissions app from the portal, the users will click on Project Document Submittals, and the new Submissions app will open. This is an overview of what the app will look like. As you can see, the users will have submittals from all projects listed out until they filter out by a desired project. Users can also reset back to the default by clicking the reset button. The information on the home screen shows what project the submittals are associated with, the submittal numbers, which are auto-generated, as well as the revision numbers, which are the -0 or -1 that follows the submittal number, the title of the submittal, which is generated by the initial submitter, whether the submittal is open or closed, the due date of the submittal, and the date that VDOT is required to respond to the submittal by. As you can see, submittals are highlighted in different colors, whether they are overdue in red, within 5 days of being due in yellow, or have greater than 5 days until their due date in green. There's also a column for the disposition, whether it is new, approved, approved as noted, revise and resubmit, rejected, or withdrawn. A column for the category that the submittal falls under, the date of that the submittal was submitted, and who has current responsibility for the submittal. The dashboards for both RFIs and NCRs look very similar, and they can be navigated to from the menu button in the top left corner of the app. To begin a new submittal, the contractor will click the Add a New Submittal button. They will need to choose what project the submittal is associated with, title the submittal, choose a category, choose themselves as the submitted by, and then choose what user the submittal should be submitted to. Only people that have been associated with the project will appear in the drop-down menu as to be submitted to. Those 5 fields are the required fields for any submittal. The submitter can also scroll to the bottom to attach a file to the submission. Files can be attached by either clicking the attach file, at which point a Windows Explorer window will pop up, or if the appropriate folder is already open, the user can drag and drop a file into this box to attach it to the submission. The other 3 fields in step 1 are optional fields. The priority, which gives the VDOT project team an idea of how quickly the contractor would like the submission back by. The response requested by, which does a similar item but with a more exact date. And then the sub UPC field, which is used for projects that have multiple UPCs under a parent UPC in order to specify which sub UPC the submittal deals with if it is only particular to one UPC. Once the submitter has completed all of those fields, they click the Save button in the bottom. At that point, the user who the submittal was submitted to will get an email notifying them they have a new submission. That email will also automatically be sent to any users that the project team has designated to be set up in the workflow to receive any new submittal notifications. Once VDOT receives notifications that there's a new submittal, they will come into the app and they will fill out step 2 fields to distribute it for review. They will click any users that need to be notified to review the submittal. VDOT users can choose as many users as necessary to review this submittal. And you can see that it is reflected that 3 users were chosen to distribute this for review. The VDOT project team who's in charge of distribution should also choose the date that the submission is forwarded and what date they need review comments due by. The user in charge of distribution can also attach another file if they want to attach something along the lines of a comment review matrix to be distributed to the reviewers to assist in the review. Once reviewers have received the submission for review, they can come into the app and view the attachment. They can provide comments in one of 3 ways: using the comments box in the application, providing a Bluebeam session ID or other URL if there's a common workspace that the project is using to work on files, or reviewers can also attach their own file if they have chosen to redline or comment on the initial submittal, as is common for review of items such as shop drawings. Once all reviewers have returned the submittal for review, the initial submitted to user will come back in and they will change the disposition based on the review comments, whether it is revised, resubmit, rejected, approved as noted, or approved. They also have the option to select withdrawn in order to close out the submittal that was never formally reviewed and the contractor no longer wanted it as a formal submittal. The user will also choose sent to which should be the same person as the initial reviewer to let them know that the review of the submittal has been completed. Once they have completed all that, they will click save and the submission will be distributed back to the user who initially submitted it, letting them know that the review of the submission is complete. The process works the same for RFIs with the notable difference of different fields, but with the same attachment and Bluebeam session ID fields at the bottom of the RFI submission. NCRs work similarly to both submittals and RFIs, with the notable exception that NCRs originate from the VDOT project team and are then sent to the contractor. These steps are the steps to use the submissions app. I will now go into the next portion of the initiative, which has created a records management site for all projects using SharePoint Online. Navigation to the records management projects, records management sites can also be done from the Econ portal page. Underneath project document submittals, there's a section of internal project sites, which lists all 9 districts in VDOT. Users wishing to access a specific project site will go into the district that the project site is associated with, and all the project sites associated with that district will be listed as links. Users will only be able to access project sites that they have been given access to. And if they attempt to access a site that they do not have access to, they can request access from the site owners once they press on the link. All project record sites will have this look to them. On the left is the navigation pane where users can navigate around the different portions of the site. The most helpful links in this navigation pane will be the Documents link, Notebook, and Tasks. Tasks are also featured on the home page of the document submission site. Tasks will be auto-created upon review distribution for submittals and RFIs. Tasks are unique to each individual. As you can see here, this is a task that was created for multiple people, and all 5 of them will have access to be able to go and review this task. Tasks can also be created from this list and not associated with either a submittal or RFI if users have an item that they would like to distribute to multiple project users for review as a task that they would like to be completed by these users. Also on the homepage are quick links. These links will take you to different portions associated with the site. The team members link opens up a Power BI app that shows all the users who are available in the document submissions app for this project. Global Actions will take you to a list of submittals or RFIs for all projects that the user is associated with, and the user has the ability to filter these submittals or RFIs based on things such as responsibility, category, disposition, and response due dates. Global submittals will take the user to the submittals application that was demonstrated in the first part of this training. And the district project link will take the user back to the district project page where they can access all the projects for that district. The final piece of the homepage is the documents structure. The documents library folder structure is preloaded when all project sites are created. Users can access the documents folders through this pane on the home page or through the documents link on the navigation page. As previously mentioned, the folder structure is preloaded to be universal for all projects. However, users can create other folders or create subfolders in the pre-created folders. However, when creating new folders, we request that users follow 2 guidelines. The first is that they create no more than 3 folders, which would be 1 main folder and 2 subfolders when creating folders to subdivide into. The second is that users use the camel capitalization method of naming the folders, which means that there are no spaces between words and just a capitalized second word. The spaces in the folder naming structure create irregularities in the URLs that are used to house the documents. For users that are not familiar with working within SharePoint Online, any files that are Microsoft Office file formats can be opened within the browser and edited right there in the browser by the user. We ask that users utilize this function as opposed to downloading a version to their own localized hard drive, which would create multiple versions of the same document within a project. This concludes all the information I have for this training. For any further training information, users can navigate to the Econ portal and go to the DSRMS button underneath Software Training and Resources and use all the resources that are available here. If users have further questions, they can submit a help request through the Econ portal, and any questions will be forwarded to the appropriate eConstruction team member. Thank you, and I hope you found this training helpful.